Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So we all know what it's like to be just driving out in the street and we come across this special person or people that just shouldn't be on the road in any way, shape, or form. Be it not using turn signals, not having good temperaments, being entitled, having anger issues, whatever the case may be. There are those few, it's not even few at this point. There's many people that feel like the road just belongs to them. So I felt like in this video we could delve into a few of these cases and see how other people react to these situations and how it all unfolds. So without further ado, and there it is. You know, the worst part about these kind of situations is that you really don't expect it. That car just pulled in out of nowhere, and it's just something that you have to be reactive. All right. The best way to, in my personal opinion, to drive in general is called being a defensive driver. I don't trust anybody on the road. I'm always looking out in my side mirrors, my rear view, whatever it is, because any situation can turn left, not because of you, but because of other people that aren't paying attention, that don't know what they're doing. And it affects you. You know, it may not be your fault, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be affected by it, especially in situations like that where you're the one that's getting T-boned. Yeah, it could be a really bad day for you. So you just got to keep your head on a swivel and drive defensively. I will also say that this dude handled it really well. It happened really quick. He reacted the way he should have, and he just kept it pushing. A lot of people wouldn't have made or been able to make the same kind of rational judgment and just keep it going like that. A lot of people, they'd be cursing, they'd be doing whatever. I understand it was probably shock, but he reacted probably the same way I would have. You know, just keep it moving. What's done is done. And he just kept it going. So yeah, I could tell this dude, he knows how to drive. He knows what he's doing. And quite honestly, at the end of the day, when you're in situations like this, the only person you can rely on is yourself. So as long as you know how to do what you have to do to get yourself out of the situation, you can probably prevent an accident that involves multiple parties, just being able to take care of yourself. So kudos to this guy for handling it the way he did. Yeah, that was 100% that cop's fault. So for people that may be new to driving and don't really know what's going on here or who may be in the wrong, when you're making a left-hand turn like that, you don't have the right of way. All right. You have to be able to know if another car is coming. That's pretty much it. So in an accident like this, the person that's driving straight, or from the perspective of the two people on the bottom, they have the right of way. Just because you may not be able to see them coming, if an accident is to occur, the person that's making the turn is the one at fault. Yeah, at the end of the day, they have to write a report. Luckily, the person that's going to be writing the report is right there, and they just made a bad judgment call. But honestly, though, that does kind of suck. Even if you weren't the one at fault, being in an accident with a cop, it's not going to feel great. So, yeah.
You know, I think in 2026, I am going to work on accepting the fact that there are just some people who don't know how to drive and will never know how to drive. And that's okay.
No, that's not okay. And it's not just 2026. This has been going on for years. A lot of people don't know how to drive. It's been a while since I took my driving test, and I see videos online with people taking their test as well. And I don't know, it doesn't feel as strict as it used to be. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm bugging, but I don't know what's going on. And it's not even just new drivers, if I'm being honest with you. Even people that have been on the road for, longer than I have, even they don't know how to drive. I don't know if it's like a learned behavior, but it's not just 2026. It's been going on for years, and it's not okay, because driving is getting easier and more hands off as the years go on. So if people now are getting worse at driving, we're going to get to a point where nobody's going to really know how to drive. Even knowing manual stick shift is pretty rare nowadays. Now we have Waymo and all these automated taxi delivery services that have their own issues from what I'm seeing. But it's not new. It's not something that I'm personally ever going to accept, because that's my life on the line. That's your life on the line. And it's just something that we need to go back to the basics maybe, but I don't know how we would even do that. But I get what she's saying, but it's not something that I think we should accept.
I can't be the only one out there that has noticed an exponential increase over the past couple of years of the amount of terrible drivers on the road. Now, am I?
You're not.
It seems like it keeps getting worse every single day that goes by, and it feels like you're going into some kind of automotive gauntlet every time you get behind the wheel of a vehicle. Just in the past couple of days alone, I have seen several people blow through red lights and stop signs without any care in the world, without paying attention to the oncoming traffic that have to slam on their brakes because they pulled out in front of them.
And I think a big part of that is like these huge screens that a lot of these newer vehicles are having installed into them. So the entertainment system, the infotainment system that's planted right in the middle of the dashboard. For a lot of these vehicles, especially like fully electric vehicles like Teslas, they have the only way to actually do anything in the vehicle is to interact with this screen. And what do screens do? Sometimes they freeze, sometimes they glitch, sometimes they go off. So not only are you distracted by doing all that kind of stuff, sometimes you're distracted for a longer period of time if the screen's glitches or freezes or does anything like that. This is let alone from like being distracted by your phone, but I think the whole screen issue is a bigger deal because that's how you interact with the vehicle, to mess with the temperature, to mess with volume, to do whatever it is, as opposed to physical knobs and buttons where you can actually kind of feel what you're doing and still somewhat pay attention to the road. With the screen, you actually have to see what you're doing in order not to misclick or do something else. So that's why I'm really not a huge fan of newer vehicles, because a lot of newer vehicles have these screens in them. I don't know if it's mandated by some sort of law or what, but it feels like more and more and more vehicles have those in them. So I think that's a really big key issue and why there's so much more distracted driving, let alone cell phones and just other mundane things that may distract you.
Yesterday, at a busy intersection with multiple lanes of traffic, I witnessed 3 cars go through a red light and make a left-hand turn in front of oncoming traffic and cut them off. I was one of them, and I had to slam on my brakes.
I don't know how many times that I've seen multiple cars change lanes and neither of them use turn signals. So I remember this one time specifically when I saw 3 cars ahead of me, one in each lane. I was in the middle lane. A car moved to the right lane. Car in that right lane moved to the middle lane, and a car in the left lane also moved to the right lane. And they did it all at the same time. It was actually one of the craziest things I ever saw. And none of them used turn signals. It almost seemed choreographed. But yeah, it's like nobody knows how to indicate where they're going. And the thing with turn signals, like when you're driving, all these different devices and all these techniques, at the end of the day, it's really not for you. It's for other people to know how to react to you. So if you don't give other people a chance to react or let them know what you're going to do, that's what causes accidents, right? So that's why people say be defensive when you're driving. It's not for you, it's for other people. And, you know, when I notice people out and about, like when it gets dark or when it's raining and they don't have their headlights or their tail lights on, I'll flash them and let them know. Not for them. I mean, it is for them, you know, but it's mainly for other people, because it's other people that don't know what you're going to do and don't see you. That's usually what tends to causes issues or accidents or, you know, collisions and stuff like that, because you're not giving them time to react to what you're doing. So yeah, people really just need to understand that in order to make the roads safer, you have to give people a chance to be able to react to what you're doing in order not to cause accidents.
The first car to turn left on red, which prompted the other 2 cars just to follow suit because I'm assuming they weren't paying attention.
It's almost like monkey see, monkey do, right? Yeah, when one person's not paying attention and many people follow suit, it's just like, what are you doing? Right? You're just gonna walk off the cliff with other people. and then you're going to be like, oh, they did it. It's dumb.
She just cuts across multiple lanes of traffic in front of me as I'm blaring my horn without any care in the world just to get into Starbucks.
The thing is, those are the kind of people that when they do cause accidents, they're the first ones to jump out their car and point fingers at someone else. It's getting harder and harder to give people grace and I'm not going to say to be a nice person, but it's getting harder and harder to really care about other people's problems when people don't really tend to care about what you're going through or stuff like that. So when you cause an issue or you cause an accident or you cause a problem and you're the first person to point your finger at somebody else, if I'm in that situation, it just makes me want to not only prove what happened even more, but it makes me just want to take it all the way, right? So yeah, this seems like the kind of person where, like that Family Guy episode, good luck everybody else, all that kind of stuff. When they cause the issue, they'll either, if they're involved in it, they'll be the first one to jump out, or if they're not involved in it, they'll be the first ones to just keep driving off and pretend they didn't see anything. All that for some Starbucks. The world really does feel like it's getting, I don't even know how to describe it. It's annoying. It's annoying to put it lightly.
Apparently to that woman, Starbucks was way more important than paying attention to the road and almost causing a multi-vehicle accident because she had to get her coffee.
Am I the only one that really doesn't care for Starbucks? Like, I've been there maybe once or twice in my life, and every time I've been there, it's pretty mid. Like, honestly, I'd rather go to Wawa and get coffee. I'm not even a coffee drinker, but all that for some Starbucks, nah.
Again, just in the past couple of days, I have witnessed people crossing over into incoming traffic and then jerk the wheel back because I'm assuming they're texting or something. Just over this past year alone, I have witnessed or come across way too many accidents to even count on one hand, and it's terrifying. I have been driving for over 20 years now, but it feels like the past couple of years, people have just gotten worse.
I also kind of want to blame companies like Tesla for these kind of situations. Not completely, but I think they play a big role in it. A lot of us know the stereotype with electric car drivers, especially Tesla drivers, right? But Tesla really pioneered the auto driving features in vehicles, at least as far as I know. So a lot of these people, they're getting more and more used to not really having to pay attention to the road, not having to really drive the car drives itself. There are situations where people are actually falling asleep on the freeway behind the wheel. So I think it started with them and it's kind of making its way to other industries in a way. So people are getting lazier with driving in general because they don't have to drive. At some point, we're going to hit the WALL-E universe where people are just in chairs, not having to get up and do anything themselves. We're getting lazier and lazier. And I personally think it's by design to make people more dependent on a lot of these bigger companies. But yeah, it's getting to a point where it's dangerous to even leave your house, to even get on the road, to even go get groceries, as much as we hate doing that.
That they have just thrown any and all skills out the window and they just don't give a shit. As a parent of a teenager that is learning how to drive, I am this close to buying her some kind of used armored vehicle from military auction because I am terrified of other people driving, not because of her, but because of the 40-year-olds that are smoking weed and texting and everything else that are just completely careless and don't care for anybody else on the road.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. It's really not about you being able to drive well. It's about other people being able to drive well, right? That other people are the biggest risk factor to you as a driver. So me personally, I don't have any children, but if I did, I'd be terrified putting them out in this world right now. I'd teach them all the skills I know in order to be on the lookout for other people that may not be paying attention. Because there are tells. If you've been driving long enough, you can tell when someone is maybe about to merge into your lane, when someone is not really paying attention. I can spot those tells from a mile away. It's an acquired skill through experience and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, you have to be able to sort of predict what other people may be doing in order to keep yourself safe. That's the best way to do it. Trust yourself. Do not trust anybody else on these roads because it is Mad Max out here.
Please explain to me why people are like this. Like, we got this whole lane over here. Nobody at all. And they just want to sit there.
That's also a pet peeve of mine as well. I'm the kind of guy that I don't even like sitting in the left lane for a long period of time because I feel pressure to speed, to go faster. So when I'm actually trying to pass somebody and there's somebody in the right lane and someone else stays in the left lane, speed matching them, it gets on your nerves, right? It's not hard to just move over. I can't really relate to people that stay in the left lane like that. When I'm in the left lane, I feel the need to go a little bit faster, right? And even if I'm in the left lane for an extended period of time, I'm always moving faster than the traffic that's to the right of me. And I feel like a lot of people are the same way. I can't stay in there because I just don't like feeling like I need to go faster than I want to. So I'll just instinctively move over. I understand what this driver's feeling. It's really annoying when someone sits there, especially when there's a completely open lane. And it's actually also illegal in a lot of states to ride the left lane like that. But people still do it. It's annoying. And yeah.
No, you're gonna, no, no.
Yep.
No.
Jetta drivers, am I right? My question is that, did they not have time to realize that their rear driver's side wheel was off the ground, that they kept on gunning it? Because I feel like the second you notice that you have to feel the bump, you have to feel yourself elevating from the back side in order to keep on riding that curb. So why keep accelerating backwards? It could have been a panic reaction, I guess, but you have to have been accelerating fast enough to be able to clear that curb. And then once you cleared it, you kept on going after your whole seat probably jerked back and forth and up and down while you were riding it. And then to keep on backing up in order to hit that pole, I don't understand how the situation happened. I would say maybe it's a medical emergency, but that was before they hit the pole, put it back in drive, and drove back off of it. So yeah, I'm really questioning how this situation happened. I also think the best part about the video was the woman sitting next to the guy driving saying that it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
No, you're gonna, no.
Yep.
And that was my thought process as well.
Holy shit, it's just beautiful. Okay, come on. Oh shit, we got it.
And it's during times like these where you wish you would have just stayed home. Yeah, you shouldn't have left the house today.
Oh shit, and there's a car. Not a good time for you to be coming. Hurry up. You have four-wheel drive, I don't. I'm like barely even going. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm pushing the gas. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been in this same situation, and the second you stop moving right before you hit the peak of that hill, you know it's a wrap, right? So the best thing to do now is just pray. Pray there's nobody else behind you because you're going back the way you came.
Oh my god. What do I do? I'm just... Oh my god. I can't get up the hill.
Also, a word of advice for people who may not be as experienced with, icy weather and slick roads like this. When you're going up a hill, say you don't have a choice and you're going up a hill, the best thing to do is to gun it before you even hit the hill, right? You got to use that momentum to try and get up on that hill. If you don't have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, you can't slow down. You have to you got to gun it. So I don't know. I don't want to say she's slow. She may have slowed down when she saw that car coming.
Oh shit, and there's a car. Not a good time for you to be coming. Hurry up. You have four-wheel drive, I don't. I'm like barely even going.
But that's not what you want to do. You want to just keep it going. And I understand POV is the first time driving in snow, so she may not have understood that. She may have gotten scared. I get that. But you really just, you got to gun it.
Okay, we're just gonna put it, we're just gonna roll backwards and We're gonna go to this parking lot.
Yeah, at this point, you're not making it up the hill, right? The second you start sliding back, you're most likely not making it up the hill. So like I said, the best thing to do is to pray there's no one behind you and just try to maneuver yourself while going in reverse and try to find a safe path back down. Best case scenario, no one's behind you and you could just kind of make your way down. If there are people behind you, I would hope that they understand. And even more so, I would hope that they can maneuver on the slick roads, because if they also are slipping and sliding and can't really maneuver their vehicle, that's a bad situation for everybody. So yeah, the best thing to do is just try and find a good route or a good way to come down. If you can, maybe turn into the curb on the side so it can kind of just slow your descent, sure. But yeah, these are scary situations, and I completely understand for a person who's driving in the snow for the first time being in this kind of situation. But also, you got to really think about it. If there's a hill right now, who's to say there's not more hills and the road is angled in a more dangerous way, right? So I doubt this is going to be the only hill that she would have hit if she made it over this one. So maybe it's for the best that she didn't, and hopefully there's nobody else behind her that she can kind of maneuver her way back. But yeah, these are scary situations, and when people say don't drive out in the snow, especially if you don't have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, just don't risk it. Your life's not worth it. My life's definitely not worth it. So please, just don't risk it if you don't have to.
Oh my God! Oh my God. So glad I'm a good driver. Where's this road? Okay, listen. Oh God, where's the curb? Okay. All right. Okay. It's fine. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I gotta call my daddy.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that screaming caught me completely off guard. Okay. But all in all, I think she handled that pretty well. Luckily, it didn't look like there were any cars behind her, and she was able to, despite freaking out, which is understandable for someone who's not used to this, she handled that pretty well. And that's honestly the best way to handle it. You have to stay calm, you have to stay cool-headed, no pun intended, and just do what you got to do in order to safely get to a position where you can kind of reset. So luckily there was a road right to, to the side of her where she could just back her way into. There were no cars coming, no cars going, and she handled that pretty well. Like I said, the screaming caught me off guard. That was kind of funny, but just make light of a tense situation. And also, I'm not gonna lie, the whole last thing she said, the whole thing also caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie. All in all, I think this ended as best as it could have. So kudos.
Wonderful day in Boston. You just drive over cars. That's amazing. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby.
How did we get here? What is that, a RAV4? That RAV4 is clean over that Elantra. How? That's insane. If it was a bigger truck, like a lifted truck, I'd understand it going completely over the Elantra, but this is a RAV4. I don't know how we got in this position. I'm actually curious in what happened here. Absolutely crazy work. But with that being said, we're at the end of our video. As you can see, there are a lot of crazy, honestly dangerous drivers out there. So you really have to protect yourself, drive defensively, and do what you got to do to get from point A to point B. All right, with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and comment so that YouTube can push these videos out through their algorithm. And also, if you enjoyed these kind of videos, feel free to subscribe as well so that you get notified when more content gets dropped. Hope you guys have a great day and take care.